I'm about to show you the best defenses in all of Madden 26, but before I do, I want to give you a big tip that applies to every single defense that you are about to see. It is something that I didn't even realize was a thing until recently, and it's very simple. It's going to make your stunts better. It's going to make your blitzes better. It's going to make everything you do about defense better, assuming they do not run the ball. And that is a simple tip. So I'm going to show you here, single mug, Tampa 2, Texas 4-man. We're going to spread, and we're just going to pass commit. And by pass committing, what you're going to see here is they will fly off the ball, and they will actually not only shed better, but they will actually loop better. The blitzers will be faster, better. So if you are not facing someone that has a strong run game, they're not in a heavy run formation, they're actually in a passing formation, you can simply just pass commit, and that's going to make things a lot better. Now, if they do run the ball, the one thing I want you to see here is if I do run the ball, it's not impossible for me to stop the run. I can still shoot it, but I'm not going to shed the run as easily as I would if they weren't. So pass committing, especially in obvious passing situations, will make your stunts, they will make your blitzes, they will make everything you do defensively significantly better, unless they run the ball. And then you have to obviously stop that. Now, as we get into these, one other thing I want to let you know is that if you're looking to take your Madden game or college football game to the next level, make sure that you join our school community. It's only $10. It gets you access to all of my offensive and defensive ebooks for both Madden and for college football. And if you want to sign up for that, that link is going to be in the description below. The nickel 3-3 double mug engage defense is taking over competitive Madden, and I'm going to be breaking down exactly how to run the defense and how to run primarily the blitzing aspects of the defense. Obviously, you have to adjust your coverage shells, but this is how to get the blitzes to work properly. So what you're going to want to do here is you're in the nickel 3-3 double mug, and a couple coach adjustments off the top of my head. You're going to want to auto flip on. You want defensive motion response disabled, at least that's how I like to play. I like to play from a zone look every single time. Option read key conservative, pitch key aggressive, conservative, conservative. And then what I do is come down here, put my hooks on 5. And then depth and width are going to be on close and pinch. Now, here's the big thing you want to do. When you go into the formation, you want to make sure that you are putting your shell on cover 2. This is going to allow you to have the same pre-snap look every single time, regardless of the play that you are calling. Now, personally, I like to do pretty much everything out of cover 2 anyway, but you could just put your shell on cover 2. Now, here's all we're going to show you. So all you have to do to make this a really, really good defense is immediately every single time you're going to spread D-line, spread linebackers. From there, this is kind of your base front, base look. You could do a lot of things from this. For example, like let's say they just run the ball. If they just run the ball on this front here, it's going to be actually fairly difficult, unless they break a tackle like that. It's actually going to be fairly difficult for them to run the ball consistently from this look here. And the reason why is because these spread linebackers really give like their offensive line a lot of targeting issues. It's hard for them to actually block. And so this is one simple tip for stopping the run. Literally, you could just kind of stand out here a little bit more, and you'll see they'll just ignore me, and we're just going to get easy stops on the run game. But for the blitzing, number one, you have the Texas 4-man stunt, which you can run this as well. This is a really, really good stunt. You just know this is just a great way to get pressure. But the other way to get pressure from this formation that I do think is really, really good is what's known as the engage. So the way you're going to do this is you're going to spread, you're going to blitz linebackers, then you're going to put your user on a coverage assignment. So like a mid-read, you're going to stand over the center, and you're going to hold the substitution menu, and you're going to hold down on the left stick. Then you're going to hit the center, and when you hit the center, you're going to hit the X button on PlayStation or the A button on Xbox to get off of the center. And as you see, this thing can come in on that left side. Now, I'll show this a little bit better in this next clip here. But basically, again, you're just going to stand kind of right in here. You can also take this defensive end and put him in coverage if you want to. And again, hold down that substitution menu, engage. Once your guy passes through, then you can hit X to get off and get back into coverage. And that is how to run the double mug defense. The dime 3-2 defense is one of the best defenses in Madden 26, and here's how to run it. First and foremost, you want to set your depth chart up for success. So what you're going to do is you're going to go into your coaching adjustments or depth chart here, and you're going to go over here to the sub linebacker position. You want to make sure that these are two safeties with good change of direction in the slot. So I'm just going to kind of go down here, look for my best options here. This guy Key looks like he's okay. And then this guy Lock, these two players will be just fine. Ideally, you want them to have like a little bit higher speed than this, but this will be fine for what we're doing here. And as you can see, we have our safeties in here now. And then you're going to go into your coach adjustments. The biggest thing is to turn auto flip defensive play call off. You could turn motion response disabled, read key, pitch key, do all this right here if you wanted to. And then also safety depth, close, and pinch. Now from there, what you're going to do is you're going to be basing out of the cover 3 buzz match. And all you're going to do is you're never going to flip this play. You want to make sure that it's always on this right side. And you're going to have your defense that looks like this, right? Now, when you come out, what you're going to do is you're going to slant your defensive line to the right, and then you can do whatever coverage adjustments you want. If you shade down, that will cancel the match concept. And what you're going to see is you're going to get this little A-gap looper coming through the over the middle there, and you're going to get pressure that way. I'll show it one more time. Again, you can do whatever coverage adjustments you want. So we're going to do something like this. Makes perfect sense. And you see that A-gap gets pressure right through the middle. The nickel single mug defense has probably been the best defense for stunting in Madden 26. I'm going to show you how to run it in this little breakdown. As far as coaching adjustments for this defense, really pretty simple. You can honestly literally leave everything on default if you wanted to, and it would still work. But defensive motion response for me is going to be disabled. Option read key is going to be on conservative. Option pitch key is going to be on aggressive for me. And then read and pass key are going to both be on conservative for me as well. Hooks, I like to put them on 5. You don't have to. I like to. Situationally, I'll move them to 10 or I'll move them to default. But I like them on 5 generally. Safety depth, close. Safety width, pinch. And there it is, single mug. Okay. Now, the way that I like to run the single mug defense, you could do this in your shell here. Just put this to a cover 2. It's going to make it so that you can come out in anything and it looks the same. All right. Now, that being said, I'm actually going to base everything that I run out of cover 2. So the best way to run this defense is to run the Texas 4-man stunt. So you're going to hold down and you're going to select Texas 4-man stunt. And you're just going to spread your defensive line at the snap of the ball there. And then you're basically set up. You don't really need to do anything here with your user or anything. And this thing will loop, as you can see. Really, really good loop. Really, really good defense. Now, the way that I like to run this defense is using this linebacker right here. And if I ever want the stunt to come in, I'll actually engage with the center. So the way that you do that is you hold up on the D-pad, and then that'll select substitutions, and then you're going to hold down on the stick, engage with the center, and then you'll normally see that you will stunt a little bit cleaner. If they start to do pass protections, it makes the stunt a little bit better. Then what I'll do with this defense is I will slant inside, I'll blitz my linebackers like this, and I'll send 5 this way. Now, the way we're going to do this is, again, we're going to engage with the center. We're going to hit him, and then we're going to peel off. And you see that you're going to get a really clean pressure look just like that. And then the next thing that I'll do is I will zone out the defensive end outside over here. So like this. And now we're only sending 4. And you're going to see, again, just engage at that center, peel off, and you're going to get really, really good pressure out of this single mug. This also, in my opinion, is just the best way to stunt in the game. It's got the best stunt in the game, and it's the cleanest stunt. And then from there, you have a couple of blitzes that you can incorporate within the formation, within the defense. But that is how I like to run the single mug. The 146 defense is one of the top level defenses in all of Madden 26, and we're going to be breaking down exactly the specifics on how to run it. Now, this is a little bit different than you might have thought, and there are some nuances that you kind of need to be aware of when running this defense. First and foremost, make sure you have safeties in here at the linebacker positions. It's going to make this a lot better for you. And then what I would do is just put your best pass rusher at the defensive tackle spot, and then you can go from there. Now, as far as coach adjustments goes, the biggest thing you need to do here is actually, honestly, your coach adjustments. Auto flip off. Defensive motion response disabled, conservative, aggressive, conservative, conservative. And then you want to come down here and put these hooks on 5. And most importantly, safety depth on close and pinch. When you're running this defense, this is very, very important. You don't have to have these on a 5. You could put them on 10, but situationally bring them down to 5 when you're consistently giving it up underneath. If you want to run match, you can put it back on default. But I personally just think 5 for most people is probably best. Okay. Now, that being, because we're not going to give up the layup throws, right? So anyways, now that being said, I want to go over this defense. This is 146, and the defense that we're going to be using is crossfire. Now, really, really important is you're going to need to kind of decide which sides you want to loop off of in the play call screen. At least in my opinion, it's going to give you the best pre-snap look. Here's why. If we come out on this field, the best side to loop on, and I'll show this real quick, is you want to loop from the yellow zone side. So the safety that's in the yellow zone here on the right, you want to loop off of his side. So like you want to send that linebacker. You'll see here that if I don't, I will set up the defense exactly how I would run it. Now it can work, but it's going to take a long time. It's going to take about 10 minutes for him to actually come in over there on the right-hand side. However, let's say that I set the splits up on this side. You're going to see that because I blitz off the safety side, it's a lot cleaner, it's a lot faster, it's honestly a lot more consistent if you do it that way. The setup for the actual blitz is just to simply pinch your D-line and QB contain, and then user this yellow zone. And the way that I like to user within 146 to keep a degree of disguise is I like to kind of just not move my user and just let the blitz do what it's going to do. Now, the problem is you'll see here that if I flip 146, you see everybody on the field is like the 2 slot corners are going to flip. So if you want to run it from left to right, my advice, obviously you could run it from left to right like we showed you already, but my advice would be to actually come into the play call screen here, and we're just going to flip the play. And now we can run it over here, and we get the better loop version if we do it this way. So that's how I like to run the defense. Didn't quite come in there, but in general, this defense is really effective, will get you a ton of stops, especially if you master the switch stick with it. The 4-3 even 6-1 defense is a great run defense. It's also a decent pass defense in this year's game. You can get pressure sending 4, sending 5, potentially even sending 6 based on how you want to do it. And so we're going to show you how to run this defense. What you're going to do is you're going to turn auto flip defensive play call off. Defensive motion response is going to be disabled. Option read key conservative, option pitch key aggressive, conservative, conservative. Down here, pretty much advise hooks on 5 unless you want to match, then you can put this on default. And then safety depth on close and pinch. Now, what you're going to do with this defense is you are going to come out in cover 4 quarters. But one big thing that you need to make sure that you're doing is you're going to hold down on that icon and you're going to select the Texas 4-man stunt. Now, the best way to run this defense, in my opinion, is to spread your defensive line. Now, there's a visual bug here on the left side, but I promise you, these guys are actually stunting. And what you're going to see here is we're just going to blitz this linebacker on the left side. Now, from there, you're able to, do whatever coverage adjustments it is that you want to do. And what you're going to see here is the stunt is going to allow us to get a send 5 pressure against 5 out when they send the running back out on a route. Now, the other thing that's really cool, in my opinion, about this is you can actually get this pressure and you don't have to send that many people. So here we're just going to drop this guy on the right side into coverage here on the left. We'll contain, and now we're going to have a contain, and we're going to have that stunt. And what you'll see here is we're still going to be able to get that pressure, and we're only sending 4 people at the quarterback. Now, let's say that your opponent decides that he wants to block the running back over here on this side. What you can do is kind of bring this guy down, blitz him off of this other side, and effectively, you're going to have the same idea, same concept here on this other side. But with the running back blocked, a lot of times he won't be able to cross over. That time he was able to, but a lot of times he won't be able to cross over. Now, if you're ever in a situation where the running back is consistently able to pick up the pressure, then what you can do is you could just send 6. And so the best way to do this is out of a cover 2 shell, in my opinion. But basically, you're just going to send 6. And what you're going to get here is this guy hovering over here. If they block running back, a lot of times one of these guys is going to come free off the outside, especially if you contain. I forgot to contain there. We'll show this with the contain. And we'll just move this guy just for the sake of illustration. He'll normally be a little bit better aligned there. But essentially, you're standing here. We contain. And you see, we're able to get that +1 pressure, for when they do block a running back or a tight end. So 4-3, even 6-1, really good defense, a great run defense, and pretty good pressure that you can use. And obviously, you can just send a shed defense as well, and this gets really, really good sheds. Going to be going over how to run the 2-3 Sam defense in Madden 26. And first things first, you want to make sure your auto flip defensive play call is set to off. Your defensive motion response is disabled. Option read key conservative. Option pitch key aggressive. RPO read key conservative. RPO pass key conservative. And then at the bottom here, you're going to have hooks on 5, safety depth on close, and safety width on pinch. Now, the other thing is you do want to make sure that you have safeties in these linebacker positions here. This is going to help with getting the blitz to come in a little bit better. Now, we're in the 2-3 Sam, and what I like to do within this defense is I want to go select the strong safety zone blitz. Pretty much everything going to be done out of the strong safety zone blitz here within this defense. And all you're going to do is you're literally just going to slant your defensive line to the right side. You're going to QB contain, and then you can take the safety and put him in whatever coverage assignment that you want. And what you're going to see is that this linebacker is going to loop from right to left fairly consistently, and you're going to get a lot of good pressure with this defense. Now, you can pretty much stand wherever you want to. You don't have to necessarily stand here if you want to come over here to help with like run shoots and things like that. You can do that. The blitz is still going to do a really, really good job. I believe that this is probably one of the better A-gap type loops in the game right now, and it's really, really simple to set up. And then obviously, if you wanted to, you can obviously, adjust your coverage accordingly, however you see fit. You can run cover 3 cloud out of this. You can do pretty much all kinds of stuff, but this is probably, like I said, one of the better A-gap loops in the game in Madden 26. The nickel wide defense in Madden 26 is probably one of the best overall defenses because it has the ability to stunt in a really unique way, and then it also has the ability to get some really good pressure. Now, I'm going to show you my coach adjustments. I'm also going to show you the blitz setups here. So auto flip on, defensive motion response disabled, option read key conservative, option pitch key aggressive, RPO read key and pass key are going to be on conservative. And then your hooks are going to be on 5, your depth is close, and your width is going to be on pinch. Now, that's kind of how you're going to set up the coach adjustments. Now, the biggest thing with this defense is your shell feature. So when you come into play, you want to select cover 2 shell. That is really, really, really important because we're going to need to utilize some alternate plays to get the blitzes to work properly. So what I like to do within this defense is generally I'm going to be stunting out of a cover 2 look. So I have this Tampa 2 in my audibles in case I ever need to get to it quickly. But what I think makes this a really, really good defense is this Overstorm Brave. So what I'm going to do first is just show you the stunt feature that you can do out of this. So if you hold down on the icon, it'll select Texas Foreman Stunt. And you'll see here that we're going to get that stunt. Now, the best way to run this defense is to show blitz, to spread your D-line, and show blitz your linebackers. Now, from this right here, we can literally create, whatever coverage it is that we might want. So you see, we could do something like this, and this just quickly creates a cover 3 cloud or cover 6 look. And then you're stunting out of us. And the reason the stunt is so good is because if I try to double team, I can't double team the left side defensive end, which is the best way to pick up the stunt. So they can't pick up the stunt with the best pass protection for it. And a lot of times that stunt is going to then be able to get pressure. That being said, one of the best ways to pick up the stunt from this look would be to get into some type of play action play. So they go to play action, they go to base protection, and then they, set their plays up, however they want to, okay? What we can do is we're in Overstorm Brave, so all we're going to do is we're just going to pinch or slant our D-line inside. We're going to show blitz those linebackers, and we're going to spread these D-lines out. And basically what you'll see here, let me actually show you not stunting because it doesn't look right if you don't stunt. If I don't stunt here, you see how you get these A-gap blitz angles. And so when you show blitz your linebackers, you're just going to basically get +1 blitzing here. Well, you see, you get that A-gap pressure off of the left side. Now, the other thing that you can do is, let's say you're in that cover 2, you can just show blitz and not spread. So it looks more like this. And you can potentially get the pressure to come in this way as well. But that is the nickel wide defense. The big nickel over G, or the 4-2-5 over G defense, is one of the best defenses in all of Madden 26, and we're going to show you how to run it. What you want to do is you want to make sure that in this, that your auto flip defensive play call is on. The reason for this is because that's going to make sure that your nickel corner is able to switch based off formation, and you can flip your play with them or whatever you need to do. Now, the best way and the easiest way to run this defense is to put your shell here on a cover two, and you're going to use this play LB Blitz. You can do it from other plays and adjust, but this LB Blitz adjustment is really good. One last thing I forgot to say is under packages here at the main play call screen, you want to go to the slot cornerback package. That's going to ensure that you're going to get better adjustments from your corners. Now, what you're going to see here is we have this LB Blitz, just like this. And all we're going to do is we're just going to show blitz our linebackers. We're going to spread our defensive line, and then we're going to kind of user, whichever one we want. Now, what I like to typically recommend is using the one that is not on the side of the tight end, or the user in the linebacker on the side of the tight end. So in this case, it would be like this right here. We're just going to put him in a zone. And what you're going to see is this blitz is going to come in over there on the left side. Now, you can also make this blitz a little bit better with some other adjustments that you can do. What's really nice about the blitz is if you wanted to, you could drop this outside guy into coverage, can be cover like here. And now you're only sending 4 people, but you're able to get the same pressure if they send 5 out into the pattern. One of my favorite defenses in Madden 26 is the nickel 3-3 odd. This defense has been good for years, and the way that you want to run it in Madden 26 is actually a really, really unique way to run defense. It's going to be really good for zone-based shells. You can run some man out of this if you want to, but overall, this is one of my favorite defenses in the game. So this is nickel 3-3 odd. What you want to be doing here is you want to make sure that auto flip defensive play call is set to off. And then what I would recommend is defensive motion response disabled, read key conservative, pitch key aggressive, read key and pass key both on conservative. And then I go down here, hooks on 5, and then close and pinch. That's kind of how I like to play. If you want to run match, you can turn those, you can change those hooks to back the default or to leave them on 5, whether you want to or not. That's not really important for the blitz. Defensive end swap package, this is going to fix this linebacker issue over here and actually make this guy an actual linebacker. And then you do need to sub in your players because it will kind of mess everything up for you. Okay. Now, what you want to do is once you're in this menu, you want to select the cover 2 shell, and that's going to kind of help disguise the coverage. If you don't do this, it's going to be pretty obvious, and your safeties are going to get in a very, very bad alignment with the play we're going to call. Now, the play that we're going to call as our kind of base do everything blitz play is we are going to have this play here, hot blitz bail. This play is really, really good, but you really need to set your shell features. If you don't do that, you'll get a really, really bad alignment. Okay. So hot blitz bail, all you're going to do is you're going to show blitz your linebackers. You're going to do that by hitting right on the D-pad, and you're going to hit R1. And then what I like to do is pinch my defensive line, and then we're going to be able to zone out this slot corner, and then we can zone out our safeties accordingly. So you see, this is kind of what the play is going to look like from the play call from the menu here. Now, the other thing that you can do with this defense that I think makes it really good is you can also take this defensive end on the left-hand side and put him in whatever coverage assignment that you want. My favorite is just a basic bluff blitz. That's going to put him right over the middle here in coverage. But essentially what you're going to see is you're going to get this really fast pressure up the middle if they send 5 receivers on a route. All right. So I think that's super good pressure. Now, the other thing that you can do here is, let's say that they, so how would they pick this up, right? Maybe they, slide protect to the right side. Then what you can do situationally here is you can actually go ahead and you can go ahead and fully show blitz. And when you fully show blitz, you see how that slot corner comes in off the edge. We're going to contain here just like this. And if they do that side protection, what you're able to get here is, let's say we want to drop this guy out in the coverage, you're now able to get this guy screaming off of the left side. So if they slide protect over to try to stop your A gap, then your edge pressure is going to be able to come in. The 3-4 tight has got to be one of the most underrated defenses in all of Madden 26. We're going to show you how I like to run it in this little breakdown of it. And again, 3-4 tight, just a super, super underrated formation in this game. And the biggest thing that you want to do for your packages here is utilizing the OLB flip package. I do think that is a key package here. And then coach adjustments, auto flip off, defensive motion response disabled. Read key is going to be conservative, pitch key aggressive, read key conservative, pass key conservative. I like to put my hooks on 5, You can put them on 10 if you are more worried about a curl. You can put them on default if you want to run more match, but I like 5. Safety depth on close, safety width on pinch. 5 is going to help with zigs, drags, all that underneath type stuff. Okay. And we're going to be running 3-4 tight, and we're going to be running hot blitz 3. Now, best way to run this defense, in my opinion, is to flip the defense. We're going to flip it just like this, and it's going to look like this on the field. Okay. Now, it's pretty much set up for you. All you have to do is just take this defensive end or linebacker, which we made him a linebacker because of the package. Just put him in a zone. Just put him in a zone. If you want to re-blitz this guy on the right side or even contain, you can do that. And with your user, what I like to do is just kind of hover in this general area. And this thing is going to come in super fast. If they send 5 out on a route, this blitz is going to scream at them. Okay. Now, another way to run this defense would be to bluff blitz this defensive end here on the left side, zone this guy out, and then QB contain like this. And what you would see here, again, we'll set our cover 2 shot to the right, is we have a chance for this to come in only sitting 4 people, and we have kind of that zone off on the back side of the defense that is really, really, really good against what a lot of people like to do in this game. So this is one of my favorite ways to send 5, send 4 in the game, because you can put a lot of coverage on the field, and if you just kind of hold the center for just a second, this thing has a really good chance of being able to come in. When they send 5 out, it's going to force them to block a running back, which then, we can do some different things. Like we can send 6. If we want to, we just show blitz here and we'll send 6. If they block a running back, a lot of times you're going to get pressure, even if they block the running back and pick up their defense. So this is a really good defense because you can send 4, you can send 5, you can send 6. It does not matter. And you're going to have a really, really good chance at being able to get consistent pressure against your opponent. This is the 3-4 tight defense, the most underrated defense, in my opinion, in Madden 26. And I think this blitz is really, really, really good. Make sure that you add this to your game. And if you've gotten value from any of these defenses and you want to learn them completely in depth, make sure that you check out our school community, school.com/Cody Ballard. It's where you get better at Madden and college football. I literally share every single thing that I know. I provide one-on-one help, answer questions, all the things that you need to take your Madden game to the next level, your college football game to the next level. Also, we have an entire community of members that help one another get better at the game. So if you are not a member of our school community yet and you want to take your game to the next level, make sure that you sign up at the link down in the description below.